So usually the visa process to get into China is a little bit complicated, but we visited Shanghai on a 144-hour visa, and we're going to tell you how to do that in a little bit. But first of all, here are 4 things you should do on a 144-hour visa to Shanghai.
If you only have 144 hours in Shanghai, Yu Gardens is definitely a must-see.
Yu Gardens is a 5-acre garden that was built in 1577, and it's a place in Shanghai that you can go to and really feel like time stood still. It feels like you're walking through a piece of history.
The gardens themselves, as well as the surrounding area, has beautiful architecture with restaurants and shops and markets that is definitely worth at least an afternoon.
It was my favorite thing in Shanghai. The Bund. It's the classic skyline, and you can't say you've been to Shanghai without going to the Bund.
The Bund is a great vantage point to see the skyline of Shanghai. Dim sum. You gotta have some dim sum. We've had some dim sum and the variety was insane. In fact, I'm not even entirely sure what we ate half the time.
Eat dim sum as often as you can. And be bold. The best places won't have an English menu, and so every bite is like a little surprise.
If it's tied in a string, don't put it directly in your mouth.
Don't eat the string. Learn that one the hard way. Disneyland. It's the newest Disney park in the world, and it has some grade A rides, including Tron, an amazing version of Pirates of the Caribbean,
It is a great spot to go and spend maybe even several days.
Now back to the 144-hour visa. It's actually pretty easy. The 144-hour visa is available to passport holders from these 53 countries. You must be transiting. This is a transit visa, which means that the place you came from and the place you're going to are 2 different places.
And this is true for all of China, not just Shanghai. The port in which you're entering and leaving China must be the same. So you can't go into Shanghai and leave from Beijing 144 hours later. You must leave from the same port that you entered.
Tips aside from just the general rules, have a printed copy of your itinerary. Print it. Don't just have it on your phone. At the airport when you go to check in, they will look at it. Managers will probably be called over. This is all perfectly fine. They're very familiar with it, but it helps the whole process. They will also take pictures of your passport and forward it onward to China in preparation of your departure. So arrive at the airport early. This is not the flight that you want to get to a few minutes before boarding closes. When you arrive in China, there was also a little bit of additional checking. They will also be looking at your printed itinerary. They will also be asking you questions about when you're going to be leaving. And when you book your onward flight, make sure you give yourself a little bit of leeway, because God forbid there's some delays, there's some bad storms coming in, and you scheduled it right till that very last minute. It doesn't matter. Your visa expires on that day at that time.
The 144-hour thing is pretty official. They have your own lanes at the check-in counters as you arrive in China. It's not some sort of like hush-hush thing. Thanks, China.
Hope that you enjoy Shanghai as much as we enjoyed Shanghai. This is not going to be our last trip to China because there is so much more of it to see.
Yeah, and I think next time we'll have to just get the full month
think
visa and pay for it, because China is just too big to see in 144 hours. Even just Shanghai is too big to see in 144 hours, let alone
get a taste.
all of China. So if you're looking for a taste, if you're in this
great.
region, definitely do it. Definitely worth it. Thanks for watching.
Well, thank you for watching.